Cosmic beings, welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Alrighty, let's get into this. So, okay, I was guided to look at this split, and we've got passion flower, which is surrender, and rue, which is protection. Um, So what I'm getting is to amp up your spiritual protection, really make sure you're doing spiritual hygiene stuff, get grounded, clear your energy, protect your energy, all those good things. And then with the surrender, that's really talking about surrendering some of the control of the outcome, well, just the control of the outcome in general to the divine. Because when you are fixated on things needing to go a certain way, then it kind of takes the divine wonder out of things and it actually limits what you're able to experience. If we surrender those outcomes to the divine and say, this is what I would like, this is how I would like to feel, and then, just, hey, let's make that happen. And then you surrender to that, and then simultaneously know that the divine is bringing it to you. Oftentimes, the divine will over deliver. So, and for some of you, this is already happening. This is already in the works. The divine is already attempting to over deliver. And so if you're attached to it needing to be a certain way, needing to be a certain outcome, so on and so forth, needing to go a certain way, it can actually block some of that over delivering that the universe is attempting to do for you right now. Okay. I remember there is nudity on these cards. Lion's mane is leadership. Okay. Viscous is joy. Arnica, teacher. Some of you are being called to be a spiritual leader. Hey, there's been a lot of soul purpose stuff coming up for this collective. Oh, we've got cannabis. Attachment. Um, okay. There's a lot of cards that came out. Give me just a second here. So yeah, leadership and teacher. I'm getting like spiritual teacher. I'm also getting that you have a natural leadership ability within you. So if you just find yourself in situations where, even though, because I'm not getting it's one of those like, okay, I'm getting more of a stoic personality type. So it's not really like that alpha energy of like you walk in and you're like, okay, I'm gonna take over this and I'm gonna lead this. But there's just this sense of natural leadership. And you'll find yourself in situations where you'll let others lead, but, you know, to a point, like you're not going to blindly follow. And then when it comes time for it, and you step up into that leadership role, people naturally just listen to you. They naturally respect your authority. And it's not like an ego way. It's a soul thing. It's like you have this natural leadership and this natural authority about your being, and people just kind of naturally will follow you. They'll naturally listen to you. So if you kind of have that, you could be really called to be a teacher in some way. I'm really getting like spiritual teacher. Maybe some of you are actual teachers and that's just extra confirmation. This could be teaching, in a traditional sense, like teaching kids. I'm really getting though more for most of you, this is more of like a guide, like a human spiritual guide, something like that. And we've got action and detachment. Okay. Yeah, that's going in with that detach from the outcome and take action. Okay. Psychic healing, stillness, and joy. Okay. I might have to sit with these for a minute to pull through the message. Let's see. I'm going to pause it for just a minute so I can sit with the energy. So I was guided to do something I've never done before. So basically what I did was each of these has like a little blurb of meaning, and I was guided to read it to you. So what I did is I went through and stuck the cards in there so it'll speed it up. Okay, and then the message is going to come together after we read these little blurbs. That's what I was told. Okay. So here we go. We've got mugwort, which is psychic healing. Dream work, the liminal space, in transition, other realities, clairvoyance, and foresight. Okay, so you could be getting upgrades when it comes to your spiritual gifts right now. You could be getting activations when it comes to these things. The other thing too is each of these plants, okay, how do I'm gonna have to do a disclaimer. Each of these plants carry certain frequencies and they can assist you in different things. So if you're feeling called to it, maybe look into it and it might actually help you to kind of navigate what you're going through right now if you sit with some of these plants. Now with that, do your own research. I'm not offering medical advice. Check with a health professional first. Um, uh, yeah, we're just talking about things from a spiritual and energetic perspective, and things like mugwort. If you do like mugwort tea before you go to sleep, it can enhance your dreams. It can, cause lucid dreaming, things like that. And so you could be being called to kind of work with some of these herbs a little more intentionally. Um, so that's just gonna be a little side note. Um, Yes. So psychic healing, I'm definitely getting like there's a lot of activations happening for you. You could be starting to kind of see things a little bit differently, having perspective shifts. That's third eye stuff. And so a lot of people think that, opening your third eye means you see like ghosts everywhere you go and in weird things everywhere you go, and it's like you're kind of like having a psychedelic trip constantly if you have your third eye open, and that's not necessarily, you can do that shit, but it's one of those. It's more about seeing through illusions. It's more about seeing things clearly. It's more about changing perspectives on things. It's so yeah, you can have visions. You can have, very vivid dreams. You can have lots of those kinds of things. And the thing is a lot of people have their third eye open and don't realize it. And then when it goes through upgrades or activations, then you'll start seeing things a little bit differently. Maybe you start seeing kind of grid systems. Maybe you start seeing auras of plants. Maybe you start seeing more vivid colors. Like the trees look a little more vivid, a little more bright. And so there's still kind of the same color, but they're just a little more intense of that color. Those can be signs that your third eye is already open. Um, okay. Now, let's see. We've got hibiscus. Okay, it's a really pretty card. So this is about joy, nectar, grace, sensuality, beauty, divine feminine, nurturing, creativity, and abundance. Really interestingly, there's another card in here. I don't know which one, but I was kind of I read that one and then was like, oh, okay, these all want to be read. And then so I just stuck them in here and I only read one, but there's one that's divine masculine. So we've got a divine feminine energy and there's a divine masculine energy in here. So you could be really balancing those internal aspects of the feminine and masculine energies within yourself. Um, and of course, this could indicate, aligning with somebody of the other polarity as well. Um, but I'm really getting internal aspects here. And so there could be this focus on joy and really wanting to experience more joy. Okay, Lion's Mane, I think this is it. Yeah. Lion's Mane, leadership, sacred masculine, leadership, ambition, provider, strong-willed, and spiritual power. Okay. Um, So it's talking about the primordial essence within the sacred masculine that expresses itself as relentless determination, ambition, focus, and will. Um, okay, when out of balance, vanity and overconsumption block the flow of love coming in to inspire ambition. Um, Power isn't powerful when you put others or yourself down. You are a wielder of raw power and may be destructive if consequences are overlooked. Lead your life from a place of compassionate leadership, and the rest will follow. Okay. So, yeah, I'm really getting this leveling up energy. It's really this like shifting fully into your power, and it's not in an egotistical way. It's not in a corrupt way. It's in that sovereign way of like, this is who I am. This is what I'm here for. and I know I'm deserving of what I desire, and I'm going to take some of those action steps towards this. And then with joy, because it's feminine, I'm being guided to read a little bit more from this one. So it's talking about Venusian grace. So like the planet Venus. Um, you hold and cradle life. You are the nurturer. Your presence brings renewal and joy to others. Express your creativity to keep attracting this colorful energy back to you. Like the hummingbird, you are a creature of nectar, a conduit of divine love and joy. Okay, so it's also talking about possibly not seeing some of the blessings that you've been given. Don't shy away from your power. You are worthy of it all. Follow the dance of the hummingbird, journey into your sadness, and know this pain is just a thread within the fabric of joy. Yeah, so I'm really getting that balancing of those internal aspects. That's really, really coming through. Okay, so then we've got nettle, which is action. Ooh, there's a snake on there. These are really fascinating. Is that Mars? I think that's Mars. Yeah, okay. Um, direct action, fierce protector, leadership, strength, power, in pursuit of truth and dominance. Um, Warrior Mars is a representation of our will to survive, protect, pursue, and act. Physically, the elemental fire within nettle activates to purify and strengthen. Emotionally and mentally, it directs ambition, sharpens intellect, and ignites leadership. Freaking words are not wording today. On a spiritual level, nettle has the power of snake medicine, granting us the power of fire to transmute and protect. Nettle medicine teaches you on a personal level to be strong, protective, and able to handle life in its complexity. You meet difficulties with patience and confidence. This allows for emotional maturity and avoids frustration. Don't withdraw your energy in the face of discomfort. If you have drawn this card today, there is a need within you to transmute some action, thought, or desire. Release the outer skin of your present identity and draw upon the powers of fire to lead and act. Okay, so what I'm getting, it's interesting because right off the bat, we've got two kind of like divine feminine energies, and then we've got two divine masculine energies. So this is really profound. You're really like you're leveling up in major ways, whether you fully realize that or not. Like this is a level up energy. Like it's yeah, this is really good. Okay, we've got cannabis, detachment. Deep contemplation, freedom from pain, body, inner calm, and immunity. Um, so this is also a plant, an herb of Saturn. Okay. Saturn is said to be the lord of time and space, the lord of karma. Although often called the great malefic, hmm, Saturn is much more than what we experience in third dimensional reality. The space time continuum is a system that encompasses third dimensional reality as we know it, said to be ruled by Saturn. Yet the transcendence of this reality is freedom from Saturn, depicted by its polarity, Neptune. When the angels of time and space are respected, Saturn, they bless us with freedom and the ability to transcend, Neptune. The cycles of the pain body. If you feel restless, anxious, trapped in your own body, or have trouble sleeping, cannabis is here to remind you to cultivate inner calm. Breathe deeply, go for a walk in nature, immerse yourself in meditation, take naps, and creatively cultivate practices that soften the unsettled aspects of your being. Don't succumb to quick fix solutions when it comes to decompressing, as it often leads to self neglect and dissociation. Tune deeply into the energies of this ancient ally and learn to transcend the cycles of self induced pain. Okay, for some of you, you could be, I gotta be careful with my words here. I don't even know if I was allowed to say this word. 420 friendly, maybe. If you sit with Mary Jane on a regular basis, do something a little bit different the next time. So instead of just smoking or, intaking for relief, however you do it, um, get intentional about it and actually sit with the plant, with the consciousness, and ask for again, I don't know if I can say the fucking word. Ask for Mary Jane to assist you in relaxing, decompressing, and also being like in the present moment and and really sit with the consciousness of the plant. And it sounds really kind of weird until you do it. And then it's like, oh shit, there's a little more to this plant than just, relief. So that could be something you're guided to do is kind of get more intentional with it. Um, okay. I was going to get all into how to sit with plants in a very intentional way, but that's apparently for a different video. So, anyways, it's mainly just your intention. And so if you're, you know, just ingesting for the sake of relief or, to help sleep or whatever it is, that is helpful and it does work. If you get a little more intentional with it, though, it can actually change your entire experience with it. And you can get a lot of like insight and things like that when you're sitting with different plants. It's not just for this plant. I'm just getting somebody in the collective's like 420 friendly and, kind of partakes on a more regular basis for more of that relief energy. And so if you get to a point where you're getting more intentional with it, there's a couple things you might notice. One, you might have a different experience. So, and it's really fun. For me, I get like it doesn't take much anymore and I'll get like actual like I can actually, see shit. Um like have a journey, like a third eye journey on it. Um and so that's the other thing you might notice is when you start getting intentional with it, your tolerance might actually drop a little. So be mindful. Um, because when you're more intentional with it, you're more open to connecting and receiving the medicine, and then it's not going to take as much. So, just, anyways, okay, let's move on, shall we? Arnica. Arnica oil is, did I do the medical disclaimer in this one? Okay, you can use arnica oil for bruises. Just a little fun plug. Anyways, okay. Loyalty, commitment, perseverance, teacher, stability, companionship, community, and unique path. Yes. So I'm definitely getting you're rising into this energy where you are really embracing this uniqueness of yourself and your soul and what you came here to do. Which is really beautiful. Here's another one. Okay, it's long been associated with wolf medicine, symbolizing loyalty, leadership, community, intuition, and instinctual intelligence. Wolf like Arnica teaches us how to become resilient teachers so that we experience greater knowing and help others as they seek their own path. Um, when arnica grows in the wild, it's found in unique and mystical patches, showing us its unique form of manifestation and growth. Like wolf, it does not follow established pathways, it finds its own way off the beaten path, defying patterns of habit. Draw upon the power of your tribe to discover the power of co creative support. Holding your unique power within a community further empowers your vision and capacity. Like a wolf, be fiercely loyal to your tribe while also upholding your unique talent. Yeah, you're being activated for something. I didn't check for okay, yeah, we're good. Some of these cards have nudity and then I'll get in trouble. Okay, skull cap. Oh, there's also a scorpion. Um, okay, so this is about stillness after the storm. Let go of control, trust in life, surrender to the divine plan, and break open. Yeah, and that's kind of what we started this reading on was that surrender energy. So, this is really about that surrender and stillness. So, what it's saying is the storm has passed. You've just weathered or are weathering a storm. Ground deeply into the present moment. If you feel fear, find consolidate. Find consolation in stillness as it readapts. The medicine of Scorpion embodies the stillness of darkness and assists by accepting sudden change with ease and calm. If you're feeling exhausted, drained, or depleted, this is the time to pause and withdraw to your cave. You're in the process of rebuilding after the storm. Don't rush, reflect. Take the time to birth a new structure that supports a new version of yourself. This is beautiful. So you're really in this energy of actually like fully leveling up in life. This is really you're being activated into soul purpose is really the energy of this. So I feel like for some of you part of your purpose might be something like being a seer or getting visions or being a prophet, something like that where you're really tapping into um extra sensory Extrasensory, that's not the right word. Is it the right word? Yeah. Your clairs, your other abilities, and this is really tied to clairvoyance. So you could be really experiencing things like dreams kicking up, vivid dreams. If you're just sitting there just kind of zone in, and then all of a sudden you're starting to see things in your mind, different visions, different potential future outcomes, different things, stuff like that. That's really indicating that you are really being activated when it comes to your sight. The other thing that can happen when these activations really kick in is when you lay down to go to sleep and you start getting like visuals. Sometimes it'll be like geometric shapes, just like lines, colors. It can be, really anything. Just seeing like very vivid things when you close your eyes. And it's in your mind's eye, and that's third eye. And again, you could be really experiencing where you're seeing physical things differently. Yeah. So there's definitely an activation when it's coming to your third eye, when it's coming to your extrasensory gifts and abilities right now. So allow yourself to go through those activations. You're also really being called to step into a position of leadership and authority. That's coming through off multiple cards. And so it's like walking, to the beat of your own drum and then really standing in that. And then there's definitely this action-oriented energy that you're being called into. So it's one of these things like you're being called to step up, you're being called to lead, you're being called to teach, you're being called to take action. And then with all of this, it's also that fine balance of finding internal stillness, surrender, joy. And so this is where you're really starting to alternate between those internal masculine and feminine energies, where you're receiving the guidance, you're receiving these upgrades, you're receiving a lot of this energy and this information. This is also the energy of like you probably know things without knowing how or why you know them, but you just know things. You just know certain things to be true. And when somebody says something, you can tell if it's true or not. You can just tell. It's just internally um it's just there. It's a gift, really. And it's probably one that's been active for you for most of your life, if not all of your life. Definitely just that inner knowing. And so now it's time to start allowing yourself to really um like respect that inner knowing. And know that because some of these inner knowings go against the grain. They're like, everybody's saying this thing, but then you're over here like, I actually think it's this. Or I actually that just doesn't feel right. And you can't explain it. You don't know why. You're just like, nah, it doesn't sit right with me. Trust your own inner knowing on these things because you have a sense of an inner knowing like that for a reason. And now you're being called to really activate some of this and really step up and align with that part of yourself. And then this is activating your soul purpose. So if you have this inner call, this inner fire of, I know I'm here for more, I know, I just heard for some of you, like maybe when you were a kid, you really resonated with like superheroes or something like that. And you really had this like weird thing of like you wanted to change the world in some way, or you wanted to help the world in some way. That's soul purpose. So if you've had that inner call and that inner fire, and it just, no matter what you do, you can never put it out. And now you're really being pulled into it and activated. It's for a reason. Your mission is coming online. And so just know that this is really powerful. And then it's also remembering to find the joy while you're going through all of this, which I know is difficult. There's always something that you can think about or look at and kind of find some sort of peace. Because when you're really getting your ass kicked like this, you're going through major activations and it's just like it feels like internal turmoil. It can be hard to go from that energy to joy, like to pure joy. And so it's more about just raising your internal vibration just a little bit. So if you can just look at something and be like, "Oh, that's, that's peaceful." And then from there you can kind of work your way up and then experience joy. And I feel like this is really an energy where you're doing this to a point where it's like you're going to be able to experience joy in a way that you haven't experienced it um For some of you, possibly ever. For others of you, like not since you were young. You're shifting into this energy of really being able to embody this energy of just joy and happiness and fulfillment in a lot of areas of life. And that will absolutely happen when you allow yourself to align with soul purpose. Okay. All right. I'm being guided to look at the bottom of the deck. So we've got love. That is Rose. Um, and then revival. Okay. Okay. Give me just a minute. I gotta sit with that. Wasn't expecting that. Hold on. Okay. So this explains a lot. I was guided to pull out my tarot deck too. And as I was going through all of this, I was like, I don't even think we're going to need tarot at all because this is just such a profound message. This is going to be good just like this. And then what's really interesting is when so I stuck all the cards in the book so that they were on the page, speeded up, right? With all of these cards, none of these, well, I think one of them is, but most of these other six cards that came out, I wasn't worried about where they went. But when I went to put the hibiscus card down, which is the joy card, I was actually guided to move it back over here. So it's kind of separate, but it's very integrated into this message. And what's really fascinating is none of these other cards needed to be in the exact same place that I pulled it in to bring through this message. But the joy card really wanted to be kind of over here, still connected, but kind of on its own. And then I was guided to put the love card on this joy card. And it just kind of hit me that we're taking a little bit of a turn. So just to let you know, we're going to get really specific here in a minute. This is taking the love turn. So if that's not your focus right now and so on and so forth, the rest of this reading might not be for you. Feel free to stick around if you're feeling called to. If not, though, that is a-okay. I do feel like ultimately, before we really go on this kind of side quest here and deep dive it, because I'm being called to, ultimately the bulk of this message is really saying you are being activated and you are being called up into a position of that power energy, that sovereignty, that authority, that leadership, and also really activating and opening up your extra abilities, your gifts, psychic abilities, things like that. So it's really this leveling up energy that is happening for you, and with that, it's natural that your love is going to change. And so this isn't just romantic love. This is going to be your capacity and your ability to love others is going to change. And also part of that is because you are accepting your sovereignty. So with that, you're naturally going to put in some barriers and some boundaries, which is a very good thing. That's, you know, self-love, right? So it's a very good thing. And when you're in that energy, then you're in a more whole energy, and then you can come together with another person who's in their more whole energy. And then you can really come together as two wholes, experiencing life together and making an even bigger whole. It's that concept of like 1 + 1 = 11. Because it's not like a completion energy, like I need you to complete me kind of thing. It's, I'm okay in this energy on my own, you're okay in your energy on your own, and now we're going to come together and join forces and really dominate is really kind of the energy coming through. So this is really about you activating your full potential to be able to come into a relationship with somebody else and have that power couple dynamic, that power couple vibe where it's just, you just help each other out and you get things done. Um Okay. So now we're going to veer off and get a little more specific. I'm being guided to pull out the tarot. So we're going to do that. With this particular thread of energy, what it's feeling like is these six cards are really you and your internal activations. And what you are attempting to do is to find more joy in your life. And then I'm getting the sense that you have your eye on somebody, and the thought of them brings you joy. The thought of potentially being with them brings you joy. It's a very like this is my person type of energy. Um, Okay, I just did a past life reading where we kind of get into some of potentially the hidden factors on what's going on with you going towards this person right now. Um, there's a lot more to that reading, but there is a little bit in here for this thread of energy. So if I don't know if I'm going to post this one first or the other one first. If I post this one first, keep an eye out for the past life one. It's going to come out shortly after. Or I'm probably gonna post that one first. I don't know. I'll have to sit and ask which one wants to come out first. But it's either gonna be right before this one or right after this one, where that past life reading is gonna come out. And it might help to illuminate some extra factors that are going on when it comes to this situation. Okay. Um, so in this energy, what I'm getting is this is actually because this is also a divine feminine energy, and this is very much a masculine balancing the internal aspects of the feminine and masculine energies within, and really stepping into that leadership, that authority, that divine masculine energy. And with that, you are now aligned with a divine feminine in another body where you two can come together and have this beautiful love that is a higher level love. So that's ultimately part of why you're going through this. It's not the only reason. It's just it's a beautiful byproduct of this process that you're going through is now you're really ready to align with somebody where you're helping each other to continue to rise and be the best versions of yourselves, and and just have that joyful, happy, harmonious energy in that relationship. And it's going to be a dynamic where instead of it draining you and drama and all of these things and kind of taking away from your ability to truly pull in and be in that sovereign energy and really, that authenticity and really guiding others or whatever you're being called to do, instead of it taking away from that, now you're aligning with somebody who is going to help add to that. And then you're going to help add to their abilities and their, purpose or whatever it is. So this is really about you leveling up in a very major way and then able to embody this energy where you can come together with another person and really join forces and be a force of nature. Is really what I'm getting. Okay, so now we are going to get into the tarot and get a little more insight on what's going on here. Um Interesting. Okay. So I just noticed something. So this could be a very complimentary person to you. Because what I noticed is I started off with this like beautiful deck. It's the Herbal Astrology Oracle, I think. It's beautiful. The images are beautiful, and it's very like it's just got a different vibe than the tarot deck that I picked for today, which is the what is this? Is this the horror? Yeah, this is horror tarot. Um, and so it's just a different vibe. Like these are beautiful images and everything as well. It's a very different vibe. And it's kind of funny because normally if I was picking two to go together, it would not be these two decks. I have other tarot decks that are more like in this kind of style. And I've got a lot of them. And so it's just interesting that I was guided to pull this one and this one. So this could be about two complementary people coming together to create this beautiful, I'm sure, paradox. Um, yeah. So, and then there's also that element of like joining those internal masculine feminine energies in a beautiful, harmonious energy. Wow. Okay. The Magician, so that landed right on the love card. So you're consciously manifesting a divine love. Um, and that's okay. I'm being told that's part of the reason you're being activated in the way that you are. It actually has something to do with this connection. Judgment. Yep. Um, that's so funny. for some of you, if you started manifesting this divine love, like a higher level love, and it could be, so sometimes this is what happens, especially if you're a powerful manifestor and you don't realize it. What can happen is something that looks like this, where you're like, you know what, I'm tired of the bullshit when it comes to relationships. I want somebody that is complementary to me, that, we can come together and really have this, this type of relationship. And then all of a sudden you go through a spiritual awakening. Sometimes it can be things like that. Um, where it's like you just kind of ask for something and you're like, it'd be really cool to experience this. And then all of a sudden, something major happens in your life that seems very unconnected. And then all of a sudden, later on, you're like, holy shit, that fucking happened because of this. Because this one fucking thing I asked for. I've experienced this way, like so many times. So you could be really kind of reflecting and being like, oh shit, if not, get ready for it because you're about to have clarity when it comes to this situation that is going to put so many things like in order. Like it's going to bring clarity to things that didn't seem connected at all. And then it's gonna be like, holy shit, that happened because of this. And then I asked for this, and then this happened, and then I went through a fucking spiritual awakening, and then, whatever it is. And so this person could also be activating you energetically. I'm getting a very high level soul connection, especially if we're talking about divine love. That's what makes divine love divine, is that soul connection. And that, magnetism and that soul calling and pull to each other. So if you are really experiencing that type of a thing right now, it's absolutely divine. And it does have to do with you awakening. And this is, yeah, and it's one of these things like, hold on, I'm getting like 15 different downloads. Give me just a second. Okay. So sometimes when that happens, it'll be like it's kind of like getting bombarded. It's kind of like flipping through if you've ever had this experience. It's like flipping through a radio dial and then you just hear like blip 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 and it's not like clear. Sometimes that happens when it's like multiple threads of energy coming through. Um the main thing though that's really coming through is it just left. What the fuck? Really? Um, okay. It was something about manifesting divine love. Oh, that's what it was. Awakening to it. So there could have been an awakening that you had where you awakened in a way, and this could be a heart expansion thing that happened or a heart opening where all of a sudden you were like, oh shit, this is actually something I do desire. This is something I could have. And then for some of you, for some, I just heard it's something I did have. Um, do your best not to beat yourself up over it. Okay, because, if you would have known, then you would have handled things differently. That's just how it goes. So relieve yourself of that guilt because I can feel it. Relieve yourself of it. You didn't know. If you had known, you would have handled things very differently. And so, again, it's one of those, this has come up quite a few times. Don't beat yourself up for not knowing something that only time and experience could teach you. Um, so, yeah, you know about it now. If that is your energy, you know about it now for a reason. So, just know that too. Like these things are illuminated to you at certain times on this journey for a reason. Um, okay. What else is going on? Two major arcana. Dude, you're going through major shit. Five of Swords. Ah ha ha. Okay. You could be self-sabotaging. Um, feeling very conflicted. Yeah. I might post that past life reading first because I feel like that's going to provide an extra level of clarity on this situation if that is for you. Okay, anyways, it's just sometimes I have to say things out loud so that I remember later. The Hierophant. Oh my gosh, in the sun. Wow. Okay, you are really desiring. For some of you, you're desiring a traditional connection with this person, like marriage. The Hierophant is literal. It's literally like the marriage card. It's indicating like a what is it, a priest on the traditional tarot, which is, who like ordains, is that the word? Fuck. Um yeah. Yeah. So this could be, you could actually be manifesting actual marriage with this person and really desiring it. Um there's also this energy of taking things to the next level. So because I'm getting that you've got your eyes on somebody, but you're not talking to them. It's not like you're starting this relationship with them. And so it's one of these, like, I feel like you've had the awareness, you've had the insight, you have the desire, and now you're wanting to take things to that next level. And that would explain this divine masculine activation that you're going through, is because something of this magnitude, this is a divine feminine that you're headed towards, and that is going to call you into your divine masculine energy. And just know as well, it's something that you're going to continue to cultivate, and somebody who's in their divine feminine energy who is in a relationship with a divine masculine, you're both going to continue to activate each other in that way. So if you're like, well, I'm not completely healed or completely this or completely that, don't worry so much about that, because there's this like green light energy between you and this person. And so it's understanding that there's going to be continued activations with this person. And for some of you, it's whether you go towards them or not, you're going to continue to get activated by their energy, and they're going to get continue to be activated by yours. Um, so yeah, I'm getting that you're really manifesting and desiring to take things to the next level with a specific person, and it's probably somebody that you awakened to. So it was one of those, like, maybe there was a part of you that knew this person was different, you couldn't really let him go, you would think about things like that, and then all of a sudden you went through some sort of activation, and then things started to become clearer when it comes to this person. And you go through those types of activations, and you have those insights and those realizations at the perfect time. So remember that. If you're sitting here and you're like, oh, why didn't I know this before? There's a reason you are illuminated to the fact now. And so that's the main thing to focus on, is like, okay, I'm aware of this now. What am I being guided to do about it? And then there's and yeah, and you're going through a major activation with your divine masculine energy, but it's also your internal feminine energy as well. So you're receiving more guidance. Your intuition is probably online in a more um noticeable way than it has been in the past. And so that's that internal feminine aspect really coming online for you as well. Trust it. You can trust your guidance. The sun, this is like the most joyful, positive card of the deck. And it's really funny because we've got this joy card out here as well. And for some of you, there is this energy of feeling like you and this person, it's just joyful. It's just positive. There's this energy around it where you know that you and this person together, I'm hearing something along the lines of like, this person could bring joy to your life in a way that maybe others don't or haven't. Um, and again, there's a reason for that. There's a reason that this person brings that energy to you. In the thing is too, is you bring an energy to this person as well. And yeah, you're really being activated in that way. So this is a beautifully balanced connection between you and this person. It really, really is. Okay. And this is a big part of the reason why you're being activated in the way you're being activated. Um, and so allow these activations to take place, and then also do your best to listen to that guidance when it's coming to this situation. Because it's like I'm seeing that you've got the green light right now. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of the fact that you've got the green light to go towards this person right now. You're ready. You're being activated fully into a place where you are now being guided, and that's that action card. You're really being guided to take action when it comes to this. Um This is big. These two things have really been a very common theme in this collective lately, which is divine love and soul purpose. And so, in a lot of you, it is kind of intertwined, and it could be the level of soul connection you have with this person. Okay. What else? Oop, I just saw 4444 on the timer. Nine of Wands. Yeah. You've been through a lot. You've been hurt. Um, Interesting. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, you could have been really working on inner healing. Hold on, I gotta make sure there's no nudity on these ones. Okay. You could have really been working on inner healing and really preparing, getting all of your ducks in a row, really getting ready, really doing different things that you're like, okay, if I were to go for towards this person, I would need to do this and I would need to let go of this and I would need to whatever it is. And so you could have been really working on that and like really preparing. Um, and and yeah, it's this wounded warrior energy, and that could definitely be where you're being called up into a leadership energy or a teacher energy where you actually help others through that internal healing process, especially other masculines, because the masculines go through a little bit different of a journey. And so you could be being called to really help other masculines go through this or, kind of shed some light for some of the feminines out there on what the divine masculine awakening and integrating process and, so on and so forth, like what that looks like in real, with real examples. So that could definitely be something here that you're really being called into. Six of Swords, Four of Wands. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Took me a minute to remember what the Four of Wands is. Um, okay. It's literally the other marriage card. This is union reunion energy. And so it's one of these things like you've been through enough. I feel like you're done with certain dynamics. You don't want to cycle repeat some of the dynamics that you've had in the past, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. You've done a lot of preparing. You've been doing this internal work. You've been allowing these activations. You've been, um, doing your best to navigate all of the changes that are happening. And now it's like you're really desiring to come together with this person. And this is also the depiction where it's that 1 + 1 = 11. That's where a lot of people say like the Four of Wands, they're like, it's 11 11. It's because the depiction, you've got one and then two on the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, and it's two holes coming together to create an even bigger hole. And so this is really, yeah, this is a divine connection, and there is balance already between you and this person. And yeah, it's one of these things like the Six of Swords, this is going towards calmer waters. This is, you know it's that energy of cut and run. Cut your losses and go for calmer waters. And so this could be something you're getting ready to do. It's just like, fuck it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I just heard go get what's mine. Well, these damn. Um, I mean, yeah, fucking go get them. There is that's funny. It does feel like you've kind of energetically claimed this person. Mm. Um, hmm. So I was getting a lot of like insight again, like a lot of chatter. So I had to kind of sit with it for a minute. So, okay, what I'm getting, there's there's an energy thing that has happened. And you've you've energetically claimed your feminine. Um I'm getting that this is at a little bit of a conscience level. This isn't just like a higher self thing. I'm getting that this is a little bit conscience of like, that's my fish, and I'm gonna go get my fish. And so what I'm hearing is your feminine, your person has allowed that energetic claiming, and now it's time to go speak to this person and actually lock in it. And then it's I'm gonna try and say this in the least condescending way possible. It's time to use your words. It's something I used to tell my daughter a lot when she was little, like use your words, use your words. And so, now with respect, I'm telling you to go use your words. Because there's only so much you can do energetically without it being backed up by action in the physical realm. It's one of those like, yes, you have an energetic bond with this person. You already have an energetic relationship with this person. I feel like you know that. And now it's time to go towards this person and actually like take some action towards them. Um, because yeah, you've got this green light right now. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of this green light, and you've been activated enough. You are prepared enough with the Knight of Pentacles. This is very slow moving, very, very slow moving energy. However, it's very prepared. It's very like, I've got this duck in a row, and then I gotta go get this duck and put it in a row. And then I went and got this duck and put that one in the row. You're ready. You're ready now. You're energetically ready for this now. You've gone through the internal activations necessary in order to be a match for this person now energetically. You've already claimed them energetically. So now go speak to them. With love and as much respect as possible, go speak to them. I'm gonna pull a few more. Is that part of this? This might be part of this. Okay, King of Pentacles and Page of Cups. This is really grounded energy. The King of Pentacles is very grounded, very stable, very secure. So you are in this energy. You're not seeing that you are, though. That's the interesting thing. But you've had internal activations to the point where energetically you are here. And so now it's time to the Page of Cups. This is expressing those deeper feelings to another person. And so it's time to actually do that in the physical realm. You've done what you can do energetically. You've done what you can do at a distance, is what I just heard. Maybe you live at a physical distance from this person. That could be a part of the complication here. Again, no, if that is the factor, don't really spend a whole lot of energy worried about it, because if this is meant to be, the divine's going to move some things around to make it happen. So just trust in that. The world, holy shit, dude, we've got so many major arcanas out here. This is huge. This is really big. The world is a completion. So yeah, it's really allowing yourself to complete this cycle and really align with this person. Yeah. Five of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. This is feeling like feeling out in the cold. It can be lack mentality. Um It could also just be feeling like you're not a part of this person's life right now, and you really want to be. And you've got the green light to make that happen. So yeah, I just keep hearing like take advantage of this green light that you're being given. Knight of Cups. This is a romantic offer. So maybe it's, maybe you're planning on doing something, like making an actual romantic gesture. It can also just be, communicating about those emotions and bringing this person your cup of love. The Chariot. Fucking yeah. This is get on your horse and go get it. Um, yeah, so the Chariot following the Knight of Cups is really that bleh, that forward determined action. And so yeah, there's definitely a lot of action energy in this reading. It's you're ready, you've been activated, you're pulling into that divine masculine energy, and you're ready to go take action towards what it is that fills your heart up, basically. Brings that sense of joy and peace and all of that. Again, it's not like you don't need this person. This person doesn't need you. However, it's one of those like might feel like it a little bit. That's that soul pull though. Um, because bottom line, you both would be okay and would be able to live life and align with soul purpose and do all those things without each other physically. However, it's one of those things like oh, I'm hearing that song. It's like I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. So it's really that energy of like, yes, this is you two are compatible, you are complementary, you are, yeah, it's you already know that. So it's really it's really coming through to let you know that you are at the place where you can go towards this person. And, again, it might take some time for it to fully lead into something like, you know, marriage or something like that. But it's one of those, it's time to allow yourself to get the ball rolling on this situation. Um, okay. Yeah. So, hold on. Okay, so I was kind of sitting with it to see if anything else wants to come out. And the main thing is to let you know that there's going to be another activation for you. And it's like maybe it has something to do with your confidence or something like that, but it's this, I can feel this internal activation that is probably going to happen as a result of communicating with this person. And it's really going to pull you more into that energy of like, um, just like that grounded, kind of authority type of energy, but again, not in a negative way. It's in like this, it's just an activation of like fully locking in like fully knowing. And I'm hearing something about purpose. So there could be an activation just as a result of talking to this person or coming together with them in some way that's going to help illuminate some facets of your soul purpose, something like that. So I'm being guided to let you know that there is another activation for you when you reach out to this person. And i'm being I'm being shown it's not going to be like really ungrounding and really crazy and really it's not gonna be like a bunch of tower moments and things like that where it's just like life fucking falls apart again. It's not that type of an activation. This is an activation, it's an internal activation that's gonna pull you more into yourself, like into your authenticity, into your sovereignty. And even when I'm feeling this activation, like my posture's pulling, like I'm sitting up a little straighter. And so it's like it pulls you kind of more into yourself in a way, in a really beautiful way. So yeah, so just know that, get ready for that. It's gonna be, I'm hearing it's gonna be a pleasant activation because some of them are not pleasant. Um, and you might have been experiencing some of the not pleasant activations. But this one I'm hearing is going to be a pleasant activation. So just so you know, just a little heads up. Alrighty. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this here. I hope this resonates. I was not expecting to take that turn there, in the middle of the reading, but I'm here for it, and I hope this helps. This was a beautiful reading overall. It really, really was. So wishing you all the best. You got this. You're ready for this, and I feel like you are. It's like just a little extra. You got this. Go do this. Yes. Alrighty. Well, feel free to let me know in the comments below if this reading resonates. I would love to talk to you about it. And also, you can hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free, and I will see you on the next message.